Hey everyone, this is PrinceBrightstar. Welcome back to Phantasy Star Online 2, and I love the view up here. We are once again here in the Time for War Alliance quarters here, and this is a place that we changed to after time ran out on the PSO lobby. So this is what we've currently got here for all the Alliance members here. And yeah, it's been a fun place to be in, but that's not why we're here today. Today, we are once again working on leveling up, but before we start off here, I did also want to come over to the Alliance tree, and I want to show you that we have actually finished maxing out our attack on this tree. So now we're starting into experience, which will be useful for anybody that is trying to level up once the PC version releases. That is still on track, as far as we know, to come out sometime on the maintenance that's going to be happening from the 26th to the 27th. So it's it's a really exciting time. For the moment, let's go ahead and grab that attack up here, and let's make our way back out to the lobby here. Since we need to figure out what we're going to do today here. I have a bunch of client orders lined up for us today, and on top of that, there is supposed to be a urgent quest coming up here, which is going to be from what I understand, the third version of the tower defense mission. Which is interesting that we skipped the second one, the one where the path splits in two and you got like 5 towers that you need to defend. But yeah, I've got a lot of things lined up that we need to take care of today. So why don't we go ahead and start off, and let's take a look at what we got for Arks quests here. Let's do a quick little warm up here. Nav Rappies capture mission. And let's go ahead and we're going to, of course, grab a drink. Always want to grab a drink. Whether it be you want to keep your boosters going or not, that's one reason to grab a drink. Lottie, let's grab Pietro, and...
Thanks for letting me join, mon ami.
Why don't we also grab EO here?
Let's do this, boss.
Alright, down to the field we go. And it is already raining in the forest today. Interesting, it looks like we got 12 players in this particular mission. I wasn't expecting to see that many players in the area, especially since Arks missions aren't as well known as the expedition quests. But yeah, today I am in here as, if I open this up, a Force Hunter. So that gives me access to techniques, but of course I am still using my typical lightning espada sword. So yeah, it's the same deal as usual. I'm just leveling up with what I know best here. Having access to techniques, of course, is always a nice thing. Let's see if we can find the exit to the first area here. And you're probably also noticing that once again I have changed my outfit here for my cast. That's going to be a regular thing here on the North American servers, because basically you don't even, because of how limited star gems are on this server, in that we don't even have access to converting casino coins into star gems, I've opted to start using different costumes to get star gems. And that's how I've been able to get certain emotions or rather emotes, and not have to pay for them, essentially. Granted, there was an upfront cost to these, and the fact that I did have to create extra characters beyond the 3 that you're given for free. But honestly, this game is designed in such a way that if you play things smart, you really don't need much more than to ever add extra characters, and maybe on whoever your main is, you pay to get some extra mags. Beyond that, basically, you don't really ever have to worry about paying for anything else, because, for instance, if we go under here to the Star Gem shop, you get access to material storage as well as extended storage number 1. And you can basically pay for those with Star Gems. And you get Star Gems through getting titles, as well as putting on different costumes. So in this particular case, I've got an Ecological body on here, and I just put that on a little bit ago, so the bar is currently filling up. Once that fills up after 22 hours, you can then swap it out for another one and grab 10 Star Gems from it.
Emergency.
And if you consider that across 10 to 12 characters, well, that is a lot of Star Gems there. And that's how I've been able to get certain emotes that are kind of expensive. For example, the flight mode emote here. Yeah, I'm still working on what I want to do for the arms there. But there are certain costumes that are sort of built for this. Anyway, that was a good little warm-up here. Let's see what we got next up here. Alright, why don't we keep up in the forest here, and we'll do a full clear on that here. Amplified quests, we're going to get into that once we get past the next of the urgent quest that's going to be coming up in a little bit here. But for now, into the forest we go. Alright, and let's grab the same party as last time. Pietro and
Have to step it up.
Io.
Thanks for letting me join, mon ami.
Let's do this, boss.
And we'll go to the position with the most players. This may put us into the second area. Yeah, in fact, that's exactly what's happening. Ultimately, we just need to make sure we take out enough enemies before we finish here. And then that'll give us the S rank that we need for the cleared account.
Emergency code collect.
Alright, so we got a collection code going.
Emergency.
Doesn't look like there's anything over there, but at least we can take out these ghosts.
Emergency code arrest.
Congratulations on completing the objective.
So Classic Necro, you do want to be, going on whatever the hardest difficulty level you can reaches. There's generally no reason not to hold off and, do that. The only time is, like, if you're trying to clear something really, really quickly for, like, a client order, but it's, like, such a rare occasion that that's ever
Emergency.
something that you should actually be doing. And also, speaking of rare, this is kind of a rare part of the forest here. You don't see this one with the raised ramp here that often, to be honest.
Avoid.
If you'd be so kind.
Wow, I'll do the best I can.
Alright, so we're past the Visibolt. Yeah, this is kind of a small map here. We're probably going to have to loop back to the south.
Completed.
Yeah, there is a bit of an experience slowdown at that level.
Numerous Falspawn are congregating near the mining bases on Lillipa. Prepare for a defensive operation.
There's the urgent quest I was talking about. So that'll be coming up pretty soon here, in about 15 minutes. Let's see if we can find these insect fossils. Once you get to that point, if you haven't, keep going through all your Arks missions, specifically your main missions here. I don't have any available at this point, and nothing's going to unlock until the Episode 4 content comes out. But that's basically where you generally want to look for your experience at that point. Also, check out the casino. They've got some good client orders in there for that as well. And then beyond that, just pop into an urgent quest and do what you can to get your experience up through that. And you'll hit very hard soon enough.
Completing the objective.
Completed.
They are per character. The only real exception to that is the points that you would get towards your mission pass. Those are shared across the account for completion. One of the things I like to do in creating a new character is I will start a character, go through the first couple of missions, and then... Where'd that growth go? There it is. And then I will proceed to get myself up to level 20, stop completing the main the missions, since I've got more at that point, and take care of my subclass client order. To unlock that, set my subclass, and then I'll just use the rest of it up, and then that'll take me right up to level 23 or 24. But part of that is the fact that I've completed the main story, episodes 1 to 3 already, so all my characters are able to take advantage of that experience. Yeah, that sounds like a fine plan there. You're able to get a, you get 3 free characters on each account. Let's see. I do want to spend a little bit more time in here. I don't think I'm quite at an A rank just yet here. But yeah, the server is still early enough in its life that most of what players should be doing at this point is essentially preparing for the future of the server. So like for me, one of my big key items has been going after titles, and since we'll probably have a few minutes after this, I'll show you what that's all about once we're out of this mission. Okay, we're probably going to be good on an A rank now, once I take out a few more of these. Yep, and then scoop these up.
Okay, scanning for hostiles.
This is actually a pretty big group we got here. Alright, I think we're good on that A rank here. Tector Hunter is actually a pretty good combo, since you get access to the Hunter's Fury Tree, as well as Automate, which basically makes it so that you really don't have to worry about healing yourself. You would just need to play support to your friends, and plus the Hunter Fury Tree also combines well with just doing regular wand smacking as well. Alright, let's take on the Fang Banshee.
Incoming alert.
Your Majesty, code due.
There we go, Fang Banshee is down.
Objective complete.
And let's get out of here. Oh hey, that was also a daily quest here. Well, keep in mind also, if you think you need another tree, and you're going to be creating another character, you're going to get that extra tree through the second character that you create.
I've been expecting you.
Let's go ahead and hand in this client order, and this one.
Drop by anytime.
And do I have any Wopal sharks on me? I probably do. Yep, I got 40 of them.
I've been expecting you. Drop by anytime.
Ah, nice. That clears up that Arks mission. Let's see here. So Tector Hunter is actually a pretty good combination for soloing. Just because it is really self-sustainable in being able to use things like Resta in the event that you run out of mates and things like that.
Welcome.
And as for not being able to replace a weapon, honestly, the same thing happened to me when I was going through the closed beta way back. Hello? Intermediate Weapon Collector and Renowned Collector. So that means that we're done with 250 entries in the weapon compendium, and then 300 unique rare items. So I'll grab this tri-boost and this photon booster. But yeah, this is what I was talking about for looking at your titles. So right now, the kind of max that you have is this one for legendary arcs, but that's really not the whole story, because there are many titles beyond this one that you can get. Yeah, PSO1, depending upon which version you're playing, has certain balance issues in that weapons that you get at like level 80 last you until level 200, which is when you hit max level in that game. Let's see. So continuing on here, the next of the enemy defeat ones that I'm gonna get here is at 100,000 enemies. I'm pretty close on that actually, so I'll be able to show you that one in just a minute here. And then you got titles for leveling up pets, for developing pets, compressing different candies, cookies, rolls, and parfaits into their smallest size possible, rare enemies. The list goes on, and that's just the first tab of many here. This is the one that I just got here. Well, the two that I just got here. This one here, and then this one. I'm still trying to get enough that I can get the last of my hunter weapon power boosts. I think I'm like 2 or 3 off of this, and unfortunately the ones I need are like really rare drops. It's like they only drop like 20 per week off of a quartz dragon for one of them. And then of course weapon enhancements, doing client orders, running advanced quests, taking on the story quests, of course, getting partner cards. So the list just goes on and on in terms of titles. And the thing is, I'm working towards getting as many of these completed as I can at this point, so that once the next round of updates comes out to the titles, whatever rewards come out of that, I'll be able to just grab them immediately. And just for reference, right now I'm sitting at 376, and that's including the 2 that I just picked up. And in terms of total enemies suppressed, I'm at over 99,000 right now. Probably going to hit 100,000 after this urgent quest coming up here, so I am looking forward to that. So yeah, we've got about 3 minutes here until this thing pops. In terms of what I still need to do to prep, let's go ahead and make our way inside the gateway ship real quick. And also, hello to everybody else that's joining here. We just had like 7 more pop in like the last 2 or 3 minutes here. Let me go ahead and feed my mag. And then I also need to put some boosters on. So, experience, rare drop, and try boost plus 100%. And I'm using the 100% right now, just because this upcoming urgent quest is so good for leveling. You usually get at least 1 level per round of going through this urgent quest. Let me also pop a drink. Shift to drink premium 2. And I gotta get some of this stuff organized here better. I guess let me take a moment and do that while we're waiting here. Yeah, I got 77 extreme passes I gotta use up at some point. I am hanging on to the advanced capsules right now. I really don't need to be doing that. I should be shrinking my inventory as much as I can, just because this urgent quest does have a lot of drops in it. Let's see here. Okay, I need to change the right ring I've got on. And we'll pop that. And that's good for now. So, another of the titles that I'm working towards is collecting 15 rings at plus level 20. And that will get me one more title. I think it might be 2 or 3 that I need to get from that. But in order to do that, I need to level them all up to level 20 first.
Emergency defense mission alert. Numerous Falspawn are raiding the mining bases on Lillipa. All Arks ops, report to the quest counter ASAP to defend the bases.
Yep, here we go. Now, this particular urgent quest is a lot harder than other ones have been recently, so my plan for the first 2 to 3 waves is I'm going to be spending time in the backfield just collecting crystals, just because those are so important to making sure that you have enough for the later waves. And then after that point, then I'll hop into actually taking on the Falspawn that are coming.
Enemy encroachment is already well underway, so stay alert. Now's the time to use AIS to kick some enemy butt. Good luck out there.
And speaking of AIS, I'm going to be popping that once we get to waves 7 and 8. I have no intention of using it any sooner than that. Just because, generally, you don't need it before then. Alright, here comes wave 1. Like I said, for these first couple of waves, I am focusing on collecting crystals, so we don't have a problem later on in the mission.
Whoa, what are these readings? The Falspawn are getting stronger as we speak. Exercise extreme caution.
One other tip I would recommend is, in these earlier phases, don't take out the Falspawn immediately. Let them kind of linger a little bit once you've got them down to like 1 to 2 remaining, because then what you can do is let everybody else in the group essentially work on collecting crystals until the timer runs out. And that is another good way to help you to make sure you've got enough crystals for the end. Because you get your second AIS at 8,000 gems, and then or crystals rather, and then your third one at 10,000. Yep, even other players are saying to work on collecting crystals. Somebody's already over there, so I'm just going to run back. Alright, enemies are on that side, so this time I'm going to be focusing on the east. Actually makes it a little bit easier for collecting crystals, sticking to either east or west, because you do have the extra jump pad that'll send you to the front or back. Okay, we got a tower up. Let's take that out real quick. There we go. Towers should be your priority during this tower defense mission. Just because those do massive damage if they go off. Let's try to grab some of these lingering crystals. Oh, wait, we just cleared wave 2. Yeah, they're clearing kind of quickly here. Generally, I like to be at about 2,000 crystals by the time we're at the end of wave 3. If it's at all possible. I think we're going to have a shot at making that. Alright, focus is in the front again, so once again, let's stick to the backfield.
Whoa, what are these readings? The Falspawn are getting stronger as we speak. Exercise extreme caution. I'm picking up powerful enemy readings. Remain vigilant, everyone.
We kind of have to be careful now because they do have that captured ship up there now, and unfortunately, we're not really going to have a good way to take it out until AIS start coming into play. If you try to fire up a photon cannon, you're just going to get smacked by the time that thing charges up. Let's get up here, collect this group of crystals, and then we'll get into it. Yeah, there we go, 2,000. Okay. Of course, I'm still going to be kind of heavily focusing on crystals at the same time. Especially because I don't see any enemies left. What is going on? Might just be the tower infection there, then. No, I'm still not seeing anything. Alright, well then... that gave us a few extra seconds to collect crystals, then. Alright, but now we're really getting into it here, so... a couple of things I like to do. You'll notice my sub-palette bar at the bottom, number 7, Zondil. That is really useful for helping you to group up enemies as a melee attacker. Alright, they're coming in from the sides. We also got towers up. Zondil will work on the Wolgarda, actually, if you didn't know that.
Whoa, what are these readings? The Falspawn are getting stronger as we speak. Exercise extreme caution.
If I pop this,
I'm picking up
it just
powerful
drags them
enemy
right over to me.
Remain vigilant, everyone.
And that's one way that you can prevent things from taking damage. Alright, let's hop over here while this side is a little empty. Looks like a boss was taken out at some point. Let's get on this tower. Unfortunately, it's in this mission that the auto-targeting can really become annoying, just because it'll try to target the walls that have come up rather than where you're trying to actually get to. One other tip is you do want to purify these sockets every now and then, just because that's where towers can pop up from, if they're not taken care of. Looks like there's a big wave coming in from the east. Yeah, so this would be a perfect example. If the enemies were just left up like this, then everybody could just focus on grabbing crystals for a couple of minutes. If there had been time left over, that is. Alright, wave 5. We've got a tower up over here, and then there's one to the south. Looks like a player did get onto that, so that's good. Might still be a bit too early for AIS, but then again, with that up there, that could still be useful.
Uh-oh. I'm picking up powerful enemy readings. Remain vigilant, everyone.
Now, one of my jobs as a hunter, since I do a lot of damage that will generate threat, is I will grab an enemy and just pull them away from where the towers are. And that way, they're no longer a danger to the tower itself. Unfortunately, it only works if you're the only player that's actually trying to grab its attention. I generally don't grab the War Cry ability as part of my build, just because I find that I can generally generate enough damage that it's never an issue that I can't hold threat. This is sort of the one mission where that's kind of an exception, and I'm not going to reset my tree just to grab that. Stay right here. There you go. Stay away from the tower. Okay, there's a tower to the west, but it looks like players do see it. Alright, generally by the end of this wave, you want to be at 7,000 to 8,000 crystals if you can. Yeah, that's one way to interrupt that cutscene if you weren't aware of it. If you can get yourself onto one of the launch pads, it will just interrupt the cutscene, and you'll be able to see where you're, where you need to look again.
Powerful enemy readings. Remain vigilant, everyone.
But really that advice related to threat can apply to anybody, not just only hunters, but really anybody that has enemy threat on them. And you can tell if you've got that by looking in the lower right corner of the enemy status bar in the upper left corner of the screen. If you look in the lower right portion of that, and you see like a monster icon on that, that means that you do have the threat. And when you see you've got that from a boss and they're close to a tower, just move away from the tower, they should follow you. And that's how you can keep the damage low on the towers. Nice, we've leveled up to level 64. Alright, enemies are almost gone. Let's grab one more wave of crystals if we can. Alright, we're a little bit lower on crystal collection than I would prefer, but I think we still got a good shot at this. The fact that after this, starting with this wave, they boost up to a collection of 30 from 20 does help with that. Alright, 3 towers to the southwest. We got Falls Arms over here. I'll grab one of them.
What is this? I've never seen such a powerful hostile signal before. Be extra careful, okay?
Alright, come on over here. There you go. Follow me out to the field. We're gonna keep you away from the tower. Alright, let's grab these crystals real quick. One thing I am looking forward to in the future is getting the Itool subclass so I don't have as many photon point issues as I do currently. Really doesn't matter, Evertap. It really doesn't matter what classes you level. I mean, you could of course try to create something that's balanced, but ultimately this is a game where there's no trifecta of tank, healer, and DPS. That's not really a thing in this game. It's more everybody does DPS, but there are little niches that you can fill every now and then, like how for me I can grab an enemy and pull them away from a tower. But that is a really niche thing compared to how the game generally works. Let's go ahead and repair this tower a little bit. Let's also get up to purple up here and repair it. Alright, let's go ahead and pop an AIS. Especially since I see that tower over there and nobody's worrying about it. Alright, pro tip when it comes to AIS. You can jump over the Falspawn walls. What I'm trying to do right now is I'm trying to collect enough crystals that we can get ourselves close to 10,000. And then that'll give us enough AIS so that we don't have to worry about ever hopping out for this last wave. Except right at the start, I'm going to find out where Elder is, and I'm going to grab him. He's over to the east.
Whoa! Looks like another super tough enemy is on the way. Should be the last one, though. Everybody look sharp out there!
He's stuck. Once again, just grab the big guy and then pull him out to the edge so that they're not doing any harm to the tower, and then you're good to go. Alright, sword is broken, and down they go. With that, let's hop into AIS again. We have reached AIS happy fun times with having 10,000 points. Alright, priority here is taking out these bombs. Because if a bomb goes off, it will one-hit kill a tower. Nice, we got a Diplomahuda in there as well. Alright, once you're pretty certain that you're going to be good for the rest of the mission, just take a peek around. Make sure you haven't missed any items that you might want to pick up, and the only reason you want to do that is because typically towards the end of this, you are so limited on time before the timer runs out that you don't want to waste any time running around the field. You just want to get the next one started before the 30-minute timer runs out, because we're at basically 26 minutes into this thing already. And we're still not at the last wave of enemies here. There's going to be one more wave after this. Alright, let's grab the last of the AIS. Alright, this should be the big one. And there we go, let's get to the middle. And let's just scoop everything up. Alright, send a kudos to all. And so right now we've got 2 minutes, so once again, you don't want to be running around on the field. You want to take that time, just look around the field while you're in your AIS, and then just hop right up here, queue up for another one before the timer runs out.
Emergency defense mission alert. Numerous Falspawn are raiding the mining bases on Lillipa. All Arks ops, report to the quest counter ASAP to defend the bases.
And so doing this, you'll get a second run in, and yeah. You'll pretty much be good to go at that point. The maintenance that's happening starting late night on the 26th and going into the 27th. That's when everybody's expecting it to come out. Even though Sega hasn't officially said that, that's when we're all expecting the main maintenance for that is going to happen.
We're about to cease in action. Enemy encroachment is already well underway, so stay alert. The large-scale operation has been time to use AIS to kick some enemy butt. Good luck out there.
Alright, so once again, first 2 to 3 waves I'm going to spend in the backfield just collecting crystals, so that we have enough for the end of this. Lord Kuruku, that is really going to be up to you. Each class is self-sufficient in terms of soloing. For myself, I generally play Hunter as my main whenever I'm soloing. But really, any class is going to be good for soloing. Alright, Wave 1 has started. Before I forget, yeah, I need to pop my boosters again. I will get that as I'm running over to the west side. That booster, and that booster. Summoner is great for soloing, because generally you're not the one that's going to be attacked. It's going to be your pet that's going to be attacked. I mean, there are some enemies that are kind of smart about that, but Summoner is pretty good, especially once you really get your pets raised up. Plus, you have access to techniques as well, which makes you even more self-sufficient. But each class has its own perks versus its weaknesses, and as long as you keep those in mind as you're playing, you'll be able to do well with pretty much any class. I know some people will go like they'll solo with Bouncer, Hunter. Myself, whenever it finally does come out in the West, I'm going to be switching to Hunter Etoile, or Hunter Star, as I'm thinking it's probably going to be called when it does come out. Here's a little tip for you: if one of the towers is infected, just use the burst barrier. It'll immediately get rid of the infection, so you're not wasting time on it. You can even preemptively use the burst barrier to get rid of the infection before it even comes up. We do have a tower up. Looks like nobody's paying attention, so let's take care of that ourselves. There we go. Once again, generally by the end of Wave 3, I like to have at least 2,000 crystals. Okay, if everybody leaves those enemies up there, then we'll have a few extra seconds to actually collect crystals. Nice, they did actually leave them up. Good. Alright, so we'll do this for one more wave, and then we'll jump into it. I know it's not the thing that people generally want to do, but it is necessary to ensure that you're going to have enough crystals for the late game on this. Looks like we have a tower that popped up over here. Nice, level 65.
Uh-oh. I'm picking up powerful enemy readings.
That's probably the
Remain
Zeshra.
vigilant, everyone.
Or no, bring Brewingada. Oops, came back a little too quick there. Alright, we're at 2,000 points. Let me scoop these up and then we'll head up to the front line. Alright, we need to start purifying some of these pads actually, so let's hop onto that. Alright, I don't see any enemies up right now here, so... yeah, sometimes there can be a slight delay as phases end there. But in the end, that only helps you out. Alright, next wave, we've got a bunch of towers up. And those have to take priority.
Whoa, what are these readings? The Falspawn are getting stronger as we speak. Exercise extreme caution. Uh-oh. I'm picking up powerful enemy readings. Remain vigilant, everyone.
Might be getting a little lag here. We got a bigger group coming in from the north. Let's group them up. I see that tower over there. Somebody's completely ignoring it. big group coming in from there.
Whoa, what are these readings? The Falspawn are getting stronger as we speak. Exercise extreme caution.
Let's try to group these up here. Alright, Dark Ragna just popped up.
Uh-oh. I'm picking up powerful enemy readings. Remain vigilant, everyone.
Alright, they're down.
Uh-oh. I'm picking up powerful enemy readings. Remain vigilant, everyone.
Alright, what I will say right now is we are very low on where we need to be for crystals at this point. So I'm going to start working on collecting those again. Generally, by the end of Wave 6, you want to have about 7,000. And once you've got that 7,000, you're pretty much all set at that point then to be able to use 3 AIS for Wave 7 and 8.
Whoa, what are these readings? The Falspawn are getting stronger as we speak. Exercise extreme caution. Uh-oh. I'm picking up powerful enemy readings. Remain vigilant, everyone.
Got Dark Vibrus over here. Let's group them up and start slashing away. Let's grab these crystals. And let's take out that tower. There's a tower to the northeast I see, but somebody got it. Good. We'll go ahead and pop that, get rid of the infection. Alright, cover structural integrity. That heals that up a bit. Okay, good. Somebody else is also collecting crystals as well. Alright, I think this is the final wave of, or rather final group of this wave. It's usually always a group of Golverda. Alright, we're moving on to Wave 7. We're not that far down from where for where we need to be on the crystals, but we are a little bit low. It just means that players won't immediately have access to the third AIS come Wave 8.
What is this? I've never seen such a powerful hostile signal before. Be extra careful, okay?
Oh, we got a tower up. Ah, that was a lot of drops here. At the bare minimum, you want to be at 8,000 crystals before Wave 8 starts. Let's get this player up. Comes another wave. Alright, so we're at the 8,000. So at least players have access to their second AIS now. Let's get this tower down. Ventus Firestrike, thank you for the follow. Ooh, that tower is just about gone. And I can't do anything to heal it up. Alright. Elder is up there.
Whoa! Looks like another super tough enemy is on the way. Should be the last one, though. Everybody look sharp out there!
Ooh. This blast must have landed behind me there. Alright, everybody's in an AIS right now, so I'm just gonna go ahead and grab a half-doll then. And I'm gonna go ahead and pop my own AIS at this point. Yeah, here's the thing, Ventus. I'm actually Force Hunter here, and I'm doing that purely for the reason of leveling it up because basically these are the last classes I need to level up before I've got everything at level 75. But basically, my Lightning Espada is just so powerful, plus the units I'm using are so powerful for melee that it doesn't make any sense for me to use anything else but my Lightning Espada here. Typically, I actually main Hunter Summoner, at least at this phase. I'm going to eventually switch over to Hunter Atwirl. No, Force Hunter, so Force is the main. But again, it's just for the purpose of leveling at this point. Once it's at 75, I'm not even going to look at it anymore. I'll show you what I mean once I'm out of this mission here. Why I'm doing it this way. Alright, time is up on that one. Let's hop right back in. But yeah, I can pretty much tell already that this is going to be a win for us. In this particular case, though, since the Urgent Quest timer is out, I'm not going to be really looking around the field until we're done here. Alright, looks like this might be the final group here. There we go. Let's scoop everything up. And let's look around the field, see if we missed anything here. Oh, I saw guys on level 10. There it is. I actually needed that one. Okay. Alright, looks like that's it. And let's get ourselves out of here. Hey, rank, not bad. Especially for this point in things where players still don't have access to certain other abilities they're gonna get in the future. Alright, we have been deposited into block number 2. Let's get somewhere a little less crowded here. Alright, so first I said I was going to talk to you about why I'm doing things the way I am here. If I go under here, Rarity, and I grab my Clarita here. So, just in comparison here, as of right now, my melee power is 2847. If I were to, say, put that Clarita on, my technique power is only 2186. So, basically, the damage that I'd be doing would be way, way less than if I just had my sword equipped instead. So that's the main reason why I'm doing things like this, even though I'm Force Hunter right now. I'm just doing so much melee damage in comparison that it just makes more sense for me to do it this way. Let's see, let's grab that. And, okay. Looks like the clock has flipped over, so let's take a quick look at the Fresh Find shop here. Dual antennas, no. Raccoon tail, no. I'm looking for when we're gonna get the bald haircut. But I don't see that happening anytime soon. This is a pair of triggers here for the third one. You know what, I do want to have a couple around just so I can have them for usage. If anybody ever does use the secrets command on the channel again. Alright, we need to head up to the Tecker and see what we actually got.
What do you require?
Leave it to me. I got a good look at it.
Alright, decent number of weapons here.
I got a good look at it. I got a good look at it.
And anything that's not 6 augments or above immediately gets swapped into X cubes. Do I have anything unique here? I've already got a demo comet. Oh, this Hamartari is unique, actually. No, PC version comes out in 2 weeks. On the maintenance, that's going to happen between the 26th and the 27th. And then we also need to convert all these. Oh, that's got 4 slots on it. I'll keep that one. Alright, now I think one of these, yeah, I can put this one away for now. So yeah, I just have a bunch of left rings that are left over, plus a single right ring that I need to get leveled up.
Welcome.
And any new titles? I got Vanguard, so that's the one I've been waiting for. Vanguard is the one for taking out 100,000 enemies. Correct, I am on Xbox with a keyboard and mouse. Alright. Oh, hey, somebody bought a bunch of my stuff. Nice. Thank you to whoever did that. Alright.
Welcome.
So with that, at this point, I think I can go ahead and switch my title here. Let's see. Getting to 250 titles, that's not as hard as getting up to Vanguard at this point, so I'm going to go ahead and put that one on now. Now, let me see where that put me. Okay, so that puts me at 377 titles. And let's see, up next here. You know what? We need to do Amduskia Dash. So, let's go ahead and queue that up here. We'll do it on super hard.
Good luck.
Alright, for this one I'm going to stop the booster. Just because there's not going to be much that it can actually do for me here. Let's grab Lottie, Pietro,
Yikes. I'm gonna have to step it up.
Thanks for letting me join, mon ami.
and Euclitia.
Time to get to work, Aurora.
And thank you for the follow there, NeuroClaude. So the reason I'm doing this is I've got 3 daily orders I need to complete. One for normal, one for hard, and one for very hard. That'll give me 200,000 Meseta by the time we're done. A couple of hitches from the hard disk there. Or SSD, rather. Alright, they're down. Gateway is open. Now for this one, we can only attack the Falspawn. think that's it. Alright, let's get over here.
We're right behind you.
Really something, huh?
Oh, felt so. Alright, over here, we need to hit this. That creates this jump pad. Hit that and hop back over. Am I gonna make it? I made it. If I don't do that quick enough, the fence comes back up and I gotta hop on those blocks again. Okay, there's usually one more down here. And now we hop over here. You are able to perfect block with Partisan as well, yes. Don't kill him, don't kill him. Unfortunately, NPCs can sometimes be a little uncooperative.
The alert level has risen.
Completed.
And down we go. But yeah, Partisan is another good weapon. It's a little bit more risk-reward than Sword is. But it is a very viable weapon. Oh, that was close. I almost hit him. I need to hit the button, though. So Just Attack is an attack where you hit your normal attack or a photon art when this little ring comes around, and it hits your character and turns red like that. That's your signal that it's time to attack with perfect timing. And Just Attack was renamed to Perfect Attack for this particular Phantasy Star. I think it was also Perfect Attack in Phantasy Star Portable 2 as well. Get off the Draconian! That's a shame. They just took him out. If there's a gate up at the end, I know who to blame. I missed a button. So in this particular mission, It's got a special setup in the fact that the Draconians and the Arks are supposed to be working with each other. And so you're able to clear sections faster just by focusing on the Falspawn and not attacking the Draconians. If you do kill a Draconian, then what will happen at the end is there are going to be some gates that come up, and you'll have to take those out as well. Essentially, taking out a Draconian slows you down. Because you then have to take care of a bunch of more of them at the end. Yeah, Hunter is one of the harder ones to clear this perfectly on, just because your attacks are AoE by default, so you don't have the same precision that you would typically have, and I think one of them just got killed there.
We're right behind you.
Alright, gateway is open. We'll see how this is at the end. I mean, the other thing that's kind of working against me here is I'm very close to max level here on this as Force Hunter. Plus the fact that my weapon attacks are just that strong. My NPCs are also right up there with me, and typically the damage they do is negligible, but at the same time they can still do a good bit. Alright. Wanada is down. Alright, let's recover our photon points and move on. Yeah, so some of them did get killed here. So now I'm being stopped by these gates here.
Emergency. Code. Attack.
Feel the rainfall. Generally, if you're talking about weapons and units, really rarity is the higher number of stars it has, the more powerful it's going to be. So right now, the highest rarity that you can get for weapons is 13 stars. Unless you're playing the Japanese version, at which point it's 15 stars. Alright, so it looks like that was the only group that we had to take care of. Let's pop a Photon Blast. Let's take out the Bull Dragon. Nice, got him just as he was going underground. And that clears a bunch of client orders there. Hey, we're not even on Lillipa right now. That's where the real underground shafts are. Alright, let's hand in these client orders.
I've been expecting you.
Amduskia dash normal, hard, and very hard. I'm also going to grab a couple of new ones here. Surface ship model. I think that comes from the floating facility on Wopal.
Drop by anytime.
Alright, let's grab that. And then we just need to clear a regular mission. Let's do that real quick. Suppress Zaudan.
I wish you the best of luck.
We don't need any booster here except to stop our booster. Lottie, Pietro, and
Thanks for letting me join.
Ecological.
Mommy.
For this one, we're just running to the end. This is the fastest mission that you can clear, which will clear that daily mission requirement. You can just run to the end. You don't even have to take anything out if you don't want to. If the path splits, then it's going to be a 50-50 toss-up. Here they are.
Emergency!
Emergency! Code! Attack!
And there we go.
Congratulations on complete.
Now, if you're looking to get mission completions when you're with your partner characters, then this is one way to do that. You can clear one mission about every 2 to 3 minutes. So in an hour, that'll give you quite a number of completions. And each of these NPCs has a title associated with them for clearing 10 and 100 missions. So those are other ways to get yourself some mission, or rather get yourself some titles. Now we did just level up on the mission pass, so let's take a look at what we got. Looks like kind of a weak tier here, just grade enhancement here. The next one is going to be, let's see, a mission badge here, and then looks like a Barbados set here. Alright, so what I want to do now is I want to address this whole thing right here. This is the Arks Boost Rally. And basically, the way this works is you fill out what the target quests are by completing them. And by doing that, points from that will then go into the boost effect here. So I've completed Daybreak and Volcanic Caves on Super Hard. I just need to get a coast clear. Let's see if anybody has started up a group for that. And doesn't look like it, but that's fine. because I can just go in with some NPCs instead. Alright, I need some D capsules. And here we go. Now keep in mind, I started with a 60% completion on the boost road. Once we're out of this, that should then increase up to 120%. Now we don't have to take out every enemy that shows up here. We don't need to go for a full completion on this to get credit for it. But we do at least need to get an A rank on this. I'm going to err on the cautious side of that and just go for an S rank regardless. But we're not going to be going down every single path here, is what I'm saying. Especially since I only have my risk at +1. And I did that intentionally just so that we get the clear a little bit quicker here. Looks like we need to head this way. This is pretty late game. This is something that unlocks at level 55. Hey, we can't wait for you to join on PC. It's gonna be a fun time once all you guys are on the servers. My end game has always, for me, been more about character advancement. So I'm always looking for ways to improve how strong my character is. Alright, we got a PSE burst here. We're not going to be able to do much with this since I'm just a single player in here. Hello, Rappy! I need your unique weapon badge. Yeah, the problem with most MMOs that release are the fact that they're underdeveloped when they release, and so they just don't have the content they need. PSO2, all the content's developed. They're just giving players time to experience everything. Alright, let's move on to the next area. Hello, Rappy. So they said they're going to be at parity with Japanese servers by the end of the year. Which is actually a pretty quick release schedule for everything. But if I had to pin down a specific month, I would say September, since that is when Vita support ends in Japan. There's a good chance that they might be looking to merge the servers at that point, especially with how performance has been through the Azure servers. I would not be surprised if Sega decides it's time to merge everything together at that point, because the server structure that they got in Japan is actually a really old structure at this point. It doesn't have all the niceties that servers of today does have. But with Azure, they're able to keep the servers up much longer between maintenances. They went 3 weeks without a maintenance, and it was really a thing of beauty here in North America. This is super hard, but it is not max risk. I'm just trying to get a quick clear on this so I can boost up my my boost road bonus. Kosa, thank you for the follow. PC is going to be really nice. There are some bugs on the Xbox version that I don't think Sega can actually solve, like the controller turning off, causing the game to prevent you from making any other movements. And then there's also a bug related to how the how different inputs are taken. So, like, for instance, if I were to, and this is going to be kind of hard to demonstrate it, if I use one of my side buttons to dash like this, and while I'm still dashing, I hit one of my attack buttons, or rather I hold one of my attack buttons down, on the PC version, that's going to start charging up as soon as the dodge action ends, but here on the Xbox version, it doesn't even trigger. I have to uniquely start pushing that after the dodge has ended. Otherwise, it just doesn't even register. So I am really looking forward to getting back to back onto the PC version where that's not an issue. But this is what I'm doing for the moment here, just because this is the only way to play on the North American servers for the time being. But just to be clear, the real end game of this game, aside from fashion, is going to be your urgent quests. Yes, the main class combination I play on the Japanese version is Hunter Etoile. It is a combination that really works towards how I like to play, which is sort of like a reckless wild beast, if you will. I don't care about what incoming damage does to me, as long as I keep attacking. And that class combination really works towards that, in the fact that most incoming damage is severely reduced by the combination. Plus, automate makes it so I don't even have to worry about healing myself up. And then if I really get desperate, I have a weapon that will let me heal up. They are group quests. Typically, you have 12 players in them. But let me be absolutely clear. There is very, very little content that would be what would be equivalent of hardcore raiding in this game. There's like 3 or 4 missions like that, and they're more solo missions than anything else. And they basically get you into what are called the expert requirements. But that doesn't give you any new missions to play. It just changes who you get matched with when playing the game. Yeah, urgent quest is emergency quest.
Code Q.
Shall we dance? If you be so kind, Loverture begins!
Alright, so for this phase, just keep shooting the water ball with the guns on the ship. You'll get through that. Otherwise, of course, you can block through it if you have a sword. Alright, they're gonna pop up here in just a second, and I will then grab them. There we go. And down they go.
Yeah, nice one! You did it! Great work!
Completed.
Please head on back.
That was a new weapon. What do we have here? Low Luft. Okay. Okay, so if we come over here now. So before this was 60%, now it's at 120%. So one more round of doing each of these quests, and I'll then be completely maxed out on the Boost Road effect for an extra 150% rare drop and 150% extra experience. And then we also have these suppression client orders, which I finished up, but I'm not going to be handing those in, since those will be useful for kickstarting next week's Alliance points. Now what else do we have here? Looks like we could make a run on a Dragon X here, so for that one, we're going to make our way over to the Dragon Altar. Casual pace to get to this point. It's kind of hard for me to say just because I have so much experience already in this, but I would say to get to level 66, you're looking at maybe around 15 to 20 hours or so. Actually, that's a little too hardcore. 30 to 40, I would say. It really depends upon if you happen to hit the servers when there's like a boost going on. Really, this is a game about constantly improving here, so let me hop out of here real quick before we start that up, actually. And the reason is there is so much extra that happens in this game. I'm gonna switch to a different block here, just because that block is really, really busy, and it causes loading and stuttering issues. I generally try to stick to the quieter blocks. Alright, so what I was starting to show here is over here.
Welcome.
This is kind of where you can really show where your progression in this game is. Okay, Lottie's Aspiration and Force Weapon Selector.
Thank you very
Let's get
much.
out of the floor. That's just a bug that pops up every now and then. Because I got that title, I can now boost my Force Weapon power by 2.5%. And then we've got this one from Lottie just now, which is to clear 10 quests with them. But if we come over here, one of the better way to gauge how far along you are in the game is to actually count up how many titles you've got. And every 50 titles right now, you're getting a new title. So this says I'm at 250 titles, but that's not the whole
Thank
story.
you very much.
If I come over here and I look at my play achievements, I'm actually at 379 titles. And for myself, I've put in almost 1,300 hours now into this particular version of the game. This is nothing compared to the Japanese version. I've got over 20,000 hours over there. But I'm just constantly looking at how to improve myself.
What would you like to do?
And one of the ways I've been doing that is by getting all my classes up to level 75. When you do that,
free
there
to
are
stop
certain
by
boosts that
anytime.
go into play. Zeke, I am on ship number 1. Alright, Pietro just gave us a photon sphere,
Goodbye.
and I need to check in with Euclitia up above.
Well, hello there.
Safe Enhancer plus 2. Nice.
See you around. Welcome.
Alright, so, back over here at the title counter. So, if we come over here, and we take a look at these titles here. So there are titles that, if you collect a certain number of 7 to 12 star weapons, then you're going to get extra attack damage from those, an extra 2.5% for each of these 4 titles that you get for each particular class. So I just finished up the one for Force Weapons, actually. And then, in addition to that, if you get a class up to level 75, it has extra boost there as well. So for this one in particular, Hunter, you get an extra 50 HP, 15 range power, 40 melee defense. But if I come down to, say, this one for Bouncer, you get 2 photon points, melee, 20 melee power, 20 technique power, and 30 dexterity. So each class has its own unique boost, so that's why you want to get every class up to level 75. If you want to run support, Tector is going to be the way to go, but generally in this game, it doesn't have the typical MMO trifecta of tank, healer, and DPS. It's generally every class is DPS, and they can sometimes do some extra things as well. But yeah, my goal is, as of right now, is essentially to get as many titles as I can, because I know eventually these titles are going to expand beyond 250. those will then give me, for example, the first set of 12-star units I'm expecting, which will then, I'll then be able to turn those around, come over here to these skill ring titles, and just slot rings right in and get a back, leg, and unit title right there.
Thank you very much.
So I'm doing everything I can up front right now while there's time to do it, to basically get myself ahead
Welcome.
in terms of everything that's going to be coming up here. I just got this Vanguard one today. The next one is going to take me quite a while to get. So right now I'm working towards leveling up the rest of my classes. And then there are also client orders that also have titles associated. There are also titles where you need to kill a boss a certain number of times. Each one of these bosses can be encountered in the story, so that's how you can get to them for the time being until the associated quests come out, which will be happening sooner or later, I'm sure. Let's see, there are titles for enhancing weapons up to plus 35. The list goes on and on. Then you've also got these where for each class you want to get a certain client order done, whereby basically you hand in 10 class X cubes to get yourself an extra 4 skill points.
Thank you very much.
And those skill points can then be used over
What
here
would you like to do?
to level up your tree, essentially. Let's see, I'm having photon point issues currently, so I'll go ahead and grab these. And the way I'm because of how I've got my setup currently, where I'm just using a sword for everything at this point, my plan is to just reset all the trees once everything is at level 75. So that's why I'm not taking any of these down here. Ranger is another good example of this. Basically, I've got a bunch of dexterity up on him right now. And I'm taking anything that will boost the power on a hunter weapon. So I've taken first hit. I've taken eradication bonus, which gives me extra photon points when things die. Essentially, I'm playing a ranger as if it was a pro trancer right now, if you happen to remember that from Phantasy Star Universe.
Feel free to stop by anytime.
But yeah, right now my goal is to get everything up to level 75 and then keep addressing things from there. Let's see, I want to hit the Alliance Quarter real quick and grab a boost again for the attack. And then we'll finally get started on that mission to take out the Dragon X. So the best place you're going to find to farm that is going to be over in the advanced quests. The apprentice has a decent chance of showing up in those. And then, I'm trying to remember where Modulator comes from. I don't think it's from the extreme quests. The Rabbi 74, thank you for the follow.
Emergency announcement. Multiple Falspawn readings are approaching the Arks fleet.
Alright, so we got that urgent quest coming up pretty soon here. But for the moment, let's go Expedition into the Dragon Altar.
Yikes! I'm gonna have to step it up.
Thanks for letting me join, mon ami.
Hello.
You might be right there. I didn't see anything on any of the drops, but let me take a quick look here. Also, since we're taking on a since we're just looking for the Dragon X, I'm just gonna bypass everything else here.
Multiple Falspawn readings are approaching the Arks fleet.
Let's see, where was that new?
Emergency. Code. Attack.
Yeah, I'm not seeing modulator here. But I did just do a time attack a little while ago.
Excellent job.
Alright, so if the gate is not open, there's usually a switch.
Completed.
There it is. Ah, yes, the Abduction Mission. You're right. That is one of the titles I haven't started going for yet, just because after the first one, there's an RNG element to it, in that your account needs to be flagged for it. The flag only happens once once you actually do get certain number of time attack done. We got the Dragon X right here, so I think we'll be able to just take him out right now and be done with this.
Change over. Code. Due.
Marvelous. Another good battle.
Okay, somebody had weakened him. I can already tell that. So, alright, let's get out of here since there isn't anything else to this here. Yeah, basically, once you do time attacks on very hard or super hard over and over and over, eventually your account will get flagged for the, for you to be kidnapped.
Which quest would you like? I look forward to
let's
your
see.
next visit.
And then that's when the Darker Den event takes place. Okay, let's do the Coastal Ecological Survey.
Which quest would you like? I wish you the best of luck.
Yeah, Naverius Basic is going to be the quickest one to get that done on. I don't think the Harkotem one, when that one comes out, is going to count towards that. Just because that is simply defeat 100 enemies. And it's all in the same area.
Yikes! I'm gonna have to step it up.
Thanks for letting me join, mon ami.
Let's do this, boss. If we're gonna do this, I'm going to do my best.
Huh, alright. If it counts, then, I've just never been kidnapped from it before.
Emergency. Code. Attack.
I mean, to be honest, that one always felt like it was more of a VR than an actual time attack. If that makes sense. Alright, so for this mission, we're collecting 200 points, and we get points by taking out the Oceanids.
Emergency. Ears open.
Emergency. Code. Attack.
The overture begins.
Excellent job.
Completed.
If you be so kind. Shall we dance?
Emergency. Ears open.
Oh, and I would also recommend taking out whatever trials you can during these ecological surveys. Just because you do get a point boost at the end of them. Just make sure that they are of the enemy type that you're trying to attack for them. So Falspawn in this particular case would actually be the wrong one to go for. But if the whole area has filled up with Falspawn, you may not have a choice but to take some of them out for the chance for Oceanids to spawn instead.
Excellent job.
Completed.
Alright, we got about a quarter of it left.
Congratulations on completing the objective.
I found a good spot for trials.
Completed.
Emergency. Ears open.
Emergency. Code. Attack.
Alright, and that clears up that
Excellent
mission.
job.
Back up to the gateway ship we go. Alright, so we got a few minutes left here before the urgent quest pops. Not really enough time to take on a full exploration mission. Alright, let's go ahead and take out a Beal Maduna then.
Emergency announcement. Multiple Falspawn readings are approaching the Arks fleet.
Hello there. I'm thankful to join the fray.
I'll give it all I've got.
But for this one, we're just going to be running right to the end, so we can take care of that Beal Maduna.
Emergency!
Emergency. Code. Jasmine.
Emergency!
They're fine.
rescue.
Congratulations on completing the objective.
Completed.
Yeah, every time I hear that voice, I'm like, Timmy? And then I remember I made an Undertale reference then.
Emergency!
Hello there, Rage Nexus. Thank you for tuning in.
Emergency. Code due.
And down goes the Beal Maduna.
Congratulations on completing the objective.
Yep, so once again, all we were concerned with was clearing the client order with for the Beal Maduna. Oh, hey, we need to pick these up here. Or no, it's not quite there yet. I still need several more. Let's see. Yeah, there it is, Beal Maduna. If you are at level 35 and you're trying to get up to 40, I would recommend actually hopping into the urgent quest that's about to start. That will give you quite a number of levels if you run that on hard, and you stick with a good group. Beyond that, if you haven't been there yet, head into the casino, head down to the floor, then come back up to the top. And after a minute or so, some client orders will pop up for you. Go ahead and complete those. Those will also give you a level or two. That's sort of the right time you want to head in there if you haven't yet. Alright, so we got about a minute before the urgent quest pops here. Let me just reorganize my inventory a little bit here. That gives us some space. And then how are we doing here? Almost done with this left ring. Alright, let's put all these away. And Sonic 1991, thank you for the follow. Yeah, we're just waiting for the urgent quest to pop, and then we'll hop right into that. Dr. Nevermore, what I would say is, first most important thing is just finding a class that you're going to enjoy playing. And Zig321, thank you for the follow.
Emergency alert. An Arks ship is under assault from Falspawn. All Arks ops, report to the quest counter ASAP and rescue the vessel.
Basically just... And Rage Nexus, thank you for the follow. Yeah, don't get bogged down in making sure you're being 100% efficient. This is a very casual game, so why can I not place a... Oh, I need to get rid of my NPCs. How did they follow me into here?
Distraction.
Let's see here. There we go. In terms of other tips, make sure you're following your Arks Mission. Those will be sort of your tutorial to the game. There are a lot of more advanced things in the game. Dr. Nevermore, thank you for the follow as well. I am not sure what block I'm on right now. If you're asking what ship I'm on, it's ship number 1. Don't worry about augmentation too much until you actually hit max level. That's sort of the big thing I would recommend right now. Don't get too bogged down in that. Just worry about leveling up your class first. Alright, so let's see. I would say, if you can, group up. If only for the reason that when you group up, if we come under here, you'll see this party boost effect. That gives you an extra 40% tri-boost on top of anything else you might have going on. There's really no reason not to go in with a group really anywhere if you can help it. And Lord Kuruku, about your question, there is a tutorial mission that will at least give you the gist of how the classes play, and there's one available for each of the classes. That's available through the training option at the quest counter. And I need to reiterate, do as I say, not as I do, because I'm in here as a Force Hunter. I should be using a Force weapon, but I'm not, because my Hunter weapon is just that powerful.
Extinction. Sublimation.
Change over. Code. Capture.
And nobody ever does capture trials. Don't even worry about those. They come up way too late.
It's not your fault.
I hear a Dark Ragnar around here somewhere. Alright, doesn't seem like there's any enemies over here, so let's head to the west instead. Yeah, I've got some decent augments on myself right now. For each of my units, I've got an extra 60 melee power, and then my weapon has plus 90.
Emergency!
But the servers are so early at this point that it really doesn't make a ton of sense to go that much further into it at this time. Especially since once Episode 4 content comes out, we're going to be getting a nice boost in attack anyway.
Ears open.
Emergency. Code. Due.
Excellent job.
Completed.
Yeah, nice one! You did it!
Nice. Yeah, it's you've at least got the basics of what you need to know. Really, once the newer content starts to come out, you'll be starting to look at
Be careful!
as standard, getting like 8-slot weapons and 6-slot units. But right now, everybody's kind of maxing it out at like 4 slots. Because that's really all you need at this point in the game. PSO2 NA is out for the Xbox. PC release comes out during the maintenance that happens between the 26th and the 27th. Yeah, it certainly is, and let's see here.
Excellent job.
Completed.
What they said was late May, but maintenance always happens between between Tuesday and Wednesday. The only way it wouldn't happen on those dates would be if for some reason they just are, if they're able to release without needing a maintenance. Which would seem unusual to me if they were just holding it off without needing maintenance.
Emergency.
Emergency. Code. Attack.
Congratulations on completing the objective.
It's possible. It's possible that that Microsoft may still be working on certain elements here up to the end.
Completed.
Alright, let's head back up to the Arks Ship. And let's start this up again. So generally you want to have, light be your weapon element. There are very few reasons why you would need to get what's called a rainbow set.
Incoming alert.
Emergency. Code.
What I would say to that is, in terms of having a second element, the only other one that you would really want to consider is getting one that is a dark element. But that's not really even going to come into play until Episode 6 content comes out, and that has to do with specific enemy types that come out at that time. Oh, if you're on the Japanese server, then yeah, go ahead and grab a dark element so you have a weapon that's specific for taking out the Lumimechs then. And I'm thinking now, you know what? Why don't I was gonna wind things down after this, but why don't we have like sort of a an end segment to this show here today, and we'll do a quick hop over to the Japanese server so I can show you what Hunter at Toil is like. Gunblade has become sort of a joke in terms of how powerful it is. Looks like everybody's headed to the south. But there is a new successor class that's coming out, which is going to be Gunblade focused. So everybody's going to start using it then.
I'm getting an unidentified read. Stay alert.
Ah, nice, a Dalmauri. That's the rare version of the Dimamo.
Emergency. Code. Attack.
I got time on my boosters.
Congratulations on completing the objective.
Completed.
Alright, what do we have here? One of those things. Alright, looks like you got someone.
Emergency. Code. Rescue.
So where on the map are they? Okay, they're down to the south there. Hello, Persona.
Emergency.
Emergency. Code. Due.
Yeah, Phantom is definitely
Completing the objective.
one of the better classes out there right now. Especially if you're able to maximize its damage through giving yourself 300 photon points.
Yeah, nice one. You did it.
We were all kind of spread out on this one, unfortunately,
Completed.
because everybody was running down to help the other player out. Alright, we are not restarting until this burst is over. When you get a good PSE burst going, that's when you really start to rake in the experience. Alright, that's the end of the burst. It really wasn't a good one, but part of that was because everybody was spread out at the start. Nothing we really could have done about that. Alright, let's move on to the next one of these. I'll give those two about 30 seconds here before I start it up, just in case they're still picking up things from the ground. Oh, looks like they're ready. Nice. Nice. Alright, we gotta figure out where the main group is here. Looks like they might be to the west. Or potentially this is a brand new instance. I should go ahead and pop new boosters now. Just so I don't have to worry about them. Ah, nice! Cat a draw. It's a rare version.
Your Majesty, code, attack.
Yeah, nice one! You did it!
Completed.
I have a short message. Emergency!
Your Majesty.
Alright, so Persona just showed up again.
Congratulations on completing the objective.
Completed.
Emergency!
Yeah, just for some perspective on this game here, these bigger guys that keep popping up and causing trials, they are typical bosses in this game. It's very rare that there's going to be a boss where you would ever actually struggle on it, and those are typically going to be like your 12-man urgent quests, where it's just the boss you're fighting.
Completed.
Alright, nothing over there. Let's head to the south.
Alert levels for the entire area are rising. Emergency. Ears open.
Hello, Niao.
Emergency. Code due.
Somebody help me!
Doesn't look like he's bringing anything else down.
Resolution.
Hello, Fang Banshee.
Completed.
Emergency.
Emergency. Code due.
Emergency.
Ah, nice, Iguanodon Nero. Once again, another rare boss.
Code due.
Congratulations on completing the objective.
Completed.
Incoming alert.
Emergency. Code attack.
So it looks like we got a quartz dragon flying around the city.
Objective complete.
Completed.
But it looks like we are starting to head back up here, so... Hey, Chenko. Thanks for tuning in. And thank you for the follow as well, Chainco.
Emergency!
Emergency! Code! Distraction!
What I will say is of the different types of quests that you can find that are urgent quests, this is typically one of my favorite ones. Just because you're not waiting till the end of the mission for your drops to come out. They just drop on the ground, and if you happen to get a PSE burst, your drops get even better from there. Alright, that sounds like a chrome dragon somewhere. Correct, I am a Force Hunter, and the reason I'm doing this is because right now my melee power is 3318, and if I were to switch over to my rod here, my tech power is only 2626. So, yeah, it basically all class weapons are effectively unbalanced in this version.
Failed! Emergency! Code!
Alright, we got a base coming up here. Doesn't look like anything was hiding inside. Yes, I am a Hunter main. Summoner is my subclass, at least here on the North American version. Etoile is my subclass on the Japanese version.
Emergency!
There goes Persona again.
The large-scale operation has ended. Thank you for your support.
Alright, so about 380 points to go.
Completed!
But yeah, we did pretty well here. Leveling from... I think we started at 63 today, and getting up to 68. Let's see. We got a boss over here. That's a full dragon.
Emergency!
Emergency! Code! Due!
it!
Completed.
Ah, it's a Haze Draw. Nice. Rare version of Chrome Dragon. So he'll have some better drops.
Incoming alert.
The move that lets me dash forward is Guilty Break.
Code you.
A truly remarkable outcome.
Completed.
Alright, with that, let's head back up to the Gateway ship. And we'll make our way out to the Arks lobby. Alright, and I am just going to plant myself over here. Because as I said, we are going to be doing a quick little pre-end of show thing here. And that is going to require me to get the Japanese version running here, so bear with me for one moment here as I get that started up.